Wow. Okay. So obviously cryptocurrencies are a revolutionary technology. I mean, there's all this security, cryptography. You can have NFTs, you can do art, you can transact, you can send cryptos to people, you can send value from one point of the globe to any other point of the globe. And it's all about the technology, and it's all about, the good of the world, eliminating the control of money by the government. But that's not really the case. It's a technology embedded within a speculation. So a lot of people are here for speculation. I mean, at start, it started by excitement in the crypto space. People are excited about Bitcoin. People are excited about different iterations of Bitcoin. And, everyone excited about what can be used with this technology. What are the limits that this technology can afford us as a human race, as humanity? But we haven't yet reached that point where we can see it. There's a bunch of mediocre use cases that we've seen within the crypto space. And by that, we mean different technologies coming up to challenge the status quo. So the status quo, of course, started by Bitcoin. The second most significant status quo started with Ethereum, with smart contracts. And this idea of being able to program technology, use programming knowledge, a way to talk to computers in order to send their value from one point to another. So tokenizing things, tokenizing art, and then everyone's looking into tokenizing real estate, tokenizing every little thing out there. So all the way to Web3, in other words, video games, decentralized finance, and all kinds of other things that you can do, as long as you can cryptographically sign a transaction as a way to prove it without the necessary permission of a third party. So combining all these things together is what we call decentralized finance. So this is all exciting. That's why cryptocurrencies exist. It's all exciting seeing all these things developing. But as we said, it is mediocre. We're still looking for an actual use case, an actual implementation where your average person doesn't even know they're using cryptocurrencies in the background, or at least having the knowledge that these are viable. It's a viable technology, hence it can be a viable investment as well. But most importantly, a viable technology on top of the internet. I mean, you're selling whatever products you're selling, be it physical products. I mean, imagine a product created that can communicate with cryptocurrencies seamlessly with physical products. If you're a manufacturer, if you deal in different kinds of physical products, you can easily get those products from the start to the end of that supply chain whilst having the transactions happen on their own. I mean, this is the essence of cryptocurrencies, having a financial layer or a value transmission layer on top of the internet. That is the essence of it. But it's very much wrapped around speculation as we speak right now. And from the people that have had so much in life, I mean, having so much money doesn't mean, can get you freedom. It's very important to have that freedom. But at the same time, being a part of something that's bigger than ourselves, I think, is the biggest thing we're looking at here. So there's a bunch of cryptocurrencies that are challenging Ethereum. They want to be their own monolithic chains. Like if you look at Algorand, Avalanche, you look at there's others that are more privately focused, like Monero. And then you look at there's some tokens that are trying to essentially create a Wikipedia in the crypto space. There's a token called IQ, and they've been doing this for quite some time. So when you look at IQ, I think they were called Everypedia or Investopedia. I think Everypedia, but the token is IQ. So if you look them up, what they're doing is building another alternative to Wikipedia that actually has a way to monetize the people that contribute, or any entity that contributes knowledge or information to the platform. There's others like Chili's that are trying to tokenize the sports industry, and they're actually getting known. Then there are others that are trying to embed with artificial intelligence. Others that are really trying to democratize different things, tokenize real estate, or really get into the so-called idea of the metaverse. So all these are iterations of how we can bundle up cryptographic transactions or signatures together with financial instruments, as we see that all the way from the advent of Bitcoin. Another perspective of how to perceive value transmission on top of the internet. That is the essence of cryptocurrencies. But obviously, there's been a lot of growth of different ideas in the crypto space, like different, for example, interoperability. How do you create these how do you make sure that these different tokens or this value can actually talk to each other? Because everyone wants to create the dominating ecosystem. So how do you make sure all these tokens or all this value can easily move from one point to another without necessarily being locked, without necessarily relying on just one technology created by one person. I mean, it's very analogous to the internet, or very similar to what the internet is that there was this standard created, the HTTP standard, and then the basically all the technology on top of the internet that enables you to interact with the browser, that enables you to send packets of messages from one point to another. So the internet protocols that have been developed, it allows for that interoperability. Or mails, you don't need to have a specific email provider to communicate with another person's email. You just send the email. So that's the sort of breakthrough technology that everyone's looking for in the crypto space. How do we create a way to seamlessly communicate with different blockchains, different value? All you have to do is to send it. But I mean, as for now, the argument is, can value be attached to these different tokens through their supply, through their burn ratios? What about these new technologies like staking, where you actually have ownership of the tokens and you stake them? Because these different consensus algorithms actually ensure things like security. So if you're incentivized to hold those tokens and actually not sell them, and stake them on the network through these entities called validators, and in doing so you actually increase the security of the network and also reducing the attack vectors of multiple cryptocurrencies. Price is a major factor, because the higher the price of a crypto token, also the higher the liquidity, but mostly, the higher the price, the harder or the more expensive it would be for any entity to actually do a 51% attack. In other words, to have 51% control over a particular network, such that that entity can make all decisions that could potentially be detrimental to that network. Different measures have been put in place. For example, if you're validator of a network, in other words, the person that's sort of a gatekeeper to make sure transactions are valid in each blockchain. So what a network wants to do is that it needs to decentralize those validators. Hopefully they're located in different geographical locations. Hopefully they're actually different machines owned by different individuals or different companies or different entities, whatever. So you want to decentralize all of this to increase the security of a network, and also you want to make it seamless in such a way that it is scalable, and it's secure in terms of security, and also it's decentralized, because that combination of those three is the trilemma factor, the factor that makes sure a network is actually robust. And it's not that easy to figure that out. And I have a feeling it's not just one network that's going to figure that out, but it's going to be a combination of multiple networks, a combination, a cooperation of different networks, creating this standard on the internet that allows different value to be communicated across different networks. So, right now, cryptocurrency is speculation. No one really knows where we're going. There's different maximalism, or rather people's tendency to stick to a particular thing, either because they're too lazy to learn something else, or because they think the facts are within that one particular entity. But I think all the parts together don't add up to one thing. If you sum up all the parts in the crypto space, they add up to multiple different other things, or they can't just give you one thing. It has to be a combination of multiple things. Even if you think you have tunnel vision to where there's a clear path to whatever success is, I think success is where cryptocurrencies become mainstream in terms of use case, but also the idea embedded within themselves. In and of themselves, you have to make to keep value and security, and that's sort of embedded within the price itself, because it reduces the attack vector of a cryptocurrency. It very much contributes to the security of the network, and also factors like scalability and decentralization. They all have to be there for this thing to work. So, there's multiple currencies out there. You can speculate in terms of, we have layer 2 technologies, we have Polygon, we have Solana, we have Avalanche, we have Algorand, we have Polkadot, Chainlink. So there's multiple currencies, as we mentioned in the video and in multiple other videos in the past. Then there's things like Chainlink, which are trying to create, oracles. How do you connect or bring real world physical data on top of the internet or on top of blockchains? So all these things have a synergetic point, a point where they all meet to create some insane magic. And somehow, all this is somehow attached to value, because if there was no monetary value, then no one would be innovating or building into the space. No one would be really paying attention. This much brain power wouldn't be paying attention to the crypto space and wouldn't be moving as fast as we are moving. So at some point, there's going to be an inflection point where all these technologies meet in order to create something beautiful, and it will happen before you can even realize that it's happening. All right, guys. Make sure you comment in the comment section. Tell me what you want to talk about, what particular technology, what cryptocurrencies you're interested in, what idea or perspective you think is worth unraveling to try and see what's underneath it, to try and figure out where things are going, because that is the essence of why we're here. Make sure you comment in the comment section. Make sure you let me know what you expect. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.